Hey guys, and welcome back to DarkLogic Studios' Attack on Titan theories and discussions. Before we go any further, I want to give you fair warning that these videos are going to contain lots and lots of spoilers. So if you're not caught up with the manga, then what are you doing with your life? Seriously though, if you don't want spoilers, you should probably click on something else. If you're all caught up though, then let's get to it. Hey, what's up guys? So as I promised, in order to celebrate 1 year on YouTube, as of July 18th, I'm gonna go back and revisit the very first theory that I posted about Attack on Titan on this channel. So some of you might remember, my very first Attack on Titan theory was about Armin possibly being related to the Reiss family. So in chapter 82, you know what happened, you were there, Armin fucking died. He went out in a literal blaze of glory. All for the rest of the month it was, is Armin gonna survive? Could he be alive? Could Levi get to him with the serum? And lo and behold, chapter 83, he is alive, Levi's there, but who's there too? Erwin is there. Yeah, let's be honest, it's a little contrived, but you know what, it's a story, so whatever. So once that whole dilemma came about, it seemed pretty clear to me that Armin was going to survive this. Not just because I felt like his character needed to be explored more, but also because of the blaringly obvious foreshadowing that Erwin was gonna die. Like, there was so much foreshadowing. I'm not sure how people could have expected any other outcome, but some people were pretty salty about that. But anyway, so my original Armin Reiss theory was based on a few factors. First was what I just explained, that I felt there was too much of his character that still hasn't been explored. But here's a few other reasons. One big one was Armin's resemblance to Historia Reiss and Yuri Reiss. Now we all know who Historia is. If you're not familiar with who Yuri is Historia's uncle, whom her sister Freda inherited the founding Titan from. And Yuri also has a very strong resemblance to Armin. Another thing are Armin's parents. We've never seen Armin's parents. We don't know who they are, despite the fact that he's a main character. All of the other main characters' families have been explored. We've seen almost everybody's parents. Not just our main characters, but many of our supporting cast as well. So it seems very weird that Armin's parents have not been brought up, except for a couple lines in the beginning. It's weird that we haven't seen them at all. And also, bringing into consideration the book that Armin had, his grandfather's book about the outside world. That's a big thing. Like, that is not something insignificant. That book is not just going to be a plot device, just so Eren can become interested about the outside world. Armin's grandfather must have got it from somewhere. So where did he get it from? And here is the most important thing about the Armin Reiss theory, is really just the fact that all these different factors point to the very likely possibility that Armin and his family are connected to somebody very powerful. There was that theory, which I also incorporated into this theory, that the couple in the hot air balloon that Sanes was talking about, you know, the guy that Levi and Hanji were torturing, when he mentioned all these different people that he and the military police had taken out, basically. He mentioned this stupid couple that tried to fly away over the walls in a hot air balloon. And people were theorizing that that could have been Armin's parents, because Armin actually mentions in the anime, when he's showing Eren the book, that his parents are going to try to leave soon. So when Armin first shared this book with Eren, his parents were still alive. And theoretically, if this is true, that was them. They were planning this trip on this hot air balloon to leave the walls. And we don't know how long exactly this was between when Armin showed Eren the book and the Titans attacked Shiganshina, but I think it's safe to say it probably wasn't a very long time period. So in a very short amount of time, let's say probably less than a year, Armin shows Eren this book. He tells him that his parents are gonna try to leave the walls. They attempt to leave the walls. They're killed by the military police. Armin's grandfather takes over taking care of him, and then the attack on Shiganshina happens. And later on in the scene, when they're with all the refugees, and Eren's being a stubborn asshole and refusing to eat the bread, and he's talking about how he wants to kill all the Titans, and Armin says something like, "You shouldn't talk like that, you don't want to end up like my parents." So we know, obviously, between the time that Armin shows Eren this book and the attack on Shiganshina happens, Armin's parents died somehow. So I do think that it's very likely that the people who died trying to leave in a hot air balloon were in fact Armin's parents. So is the Armin Reiss theory still viable? Could it still be a thing? Or can we say that it's been debunked by now? Now, in my honest opinion, I feel like at this point, if Armin secretly turned out to be a Reiss, it would be kind of an ass pull, like some kind of Deus Ex Machina shit. We've already got Historia and Zeke. We don't really need another character to be of royal blood. So the likelihood that Armin is a Reiss, in my opinion, is very, very low at this point. So I really don't think that this theory is going to turn out to be true. It still could, but I think by now, the way the story has unfolded, I don't think would make a lot of sense. However, let's switch gears a little bit, and let's take a look at the theory that Armin might be related to the Tybur family. Now, the Tybur family, if you've been keeping up with the manga, then you know are the family who apparently possessed the Warhammer Titan. They're Eldian nobles, one of the first who betrayed King Fritz and took the side of the Marley, I guess. So what's important about this? If we take these elements about the Armin Reiss theory and apply it to the Tybur family, it actually kind of works. Because the important thing about the Armin Reiss theory is the fact that Armin is connected to someone or something important. There's a lot of mystery in his backstory, and a lot of things that are unexplained. At some point we have to find out where he got the book about the outside world. Could this be a book that was handed down through his family in secret? His family that were originally descendants of the Tybur family, who changed their name to Arlert in order to not be suspect. The same way that the Reiss family changed their name. Perhaps Armin's family, when they first came to Paradise Island, were actually a branch of this Tybur family, and they split off because they wanted to stay with King Fritz. But maybe King Fritz didn't want them. Maybe he was pissed off at them that the rest of their family had betrayed him, and he's like, no, fuck you guys can fuck off. And so they ended up having to live out in the outskirts of Shiganshina, where all the misfits and outcasts live. And another thing as well is, if Armin's parents really were the couple who tried to escape in the hot air balloon, why would they even do that if they didn't know that there were other people on the outside? And if they didn't know that there was somewhere or someone that they could hopefully go to who could protect them? Like, Armin's parents weren't stupid. I think that we can safely conclude that based on the fact that they managed to build a hot air balloon themselves. I mean, that has to be forbidden technology, but they managed to somehow figure that out, or they had some schematics for it that they were able to follow. So they're not stupid people. And also, considering that they're Armin's parents, they were probably pretty smart, but apparently not smart enough to escape without getting killed. So but why would they even leave if they believed that the only thing out there was Titans? Like, where were they gonna go? What were they gonna do? How were they gonna protect themselves from the Titans? I think that Armin's parents, their goal may have been to try and cross the ocean all the way to the Marleyan main continent. Now, I don't know a lot about hot air balloons and how far they can travel. I'm just gonna assume that a hot air balloon with the right weather and wind current could probably make it over to the main continent. So who knows, maybe Armin's parents were gonna try to make it over there and just kind of see what's going on. Maybe try to reconnect with their old family members. Who knows? Maybe they even had the goal of surrendering to the Marley. I mean, if they had this one book about the outside world, then could it be possible that they had many books about the outside world? How much did they actually know about the outside world? Maybe they knew that the world inside the walls was gonna fall soon, because the Marley would eventually attack it. And maybe they wanted to leave so that they could reach out to the people outside Paradise Island, maybe to find a safe place to bring their son to grow up where he's not gonna be in the middle of a freaking apocalyptic war, you know? So if you think about it like that, it's actually even more tragic and sad. And another thing, of course, is that if the Tybur family have been passing this Titan down to their own family members generation after generation, then, as is also stated in chapter 95, the memories are more likely to be passed on through blood relatives who inherit the power. So if they've had this Titan for 100 years, then it's probably very likely that their memories that have been passed down through the past 100 years through the Warhammer Titan are very, very well preserved. And whoever holds this Warhammer Titan is kind of like the coordinate on the Paradise Island side. They're the only one who knows the whole truth about what happened 100 years ago. Those memories were lost when Grisha stole the Founding Titan from Freyda because he wasn't related to the Reiss family. He wasn't able to inherit all of those memories. And neither was Eren. But Eren, however, did manage to inherit a shit ton of his dad's memories. So, guess that explains that. But the important thing is that if Armin is a long-lost member of the Tybur family, and as some of you guys pointed out, if he somehow manages to eat the Warhammer Titan, which, considering that he's the Colossal Titan and he's fucking gigantic, I don't know if that'd be too difficult for him to do, then Armin could potentially inherit 100 years worth of memories and find out the absolute truth. And that, I think, would be a really interesting way for all of this to come together. And in a way, even though it's not quite what I had expected, even though it's not quite what I had theorized, this would kind of prove my theory, my original theory, to be true. Even though he's not related to the Reiss family, he was related to somebody important. And the significance of that is going to be that he is going to eventually inherit the memories of what actually happened 100 years ago and during the Titan War and all this shit. And I think that that would be so perfect. I think that that makes so much sense because, as we've already talked about, Armin is probably the narrator. He's probably the one telling this story. And also, he's the smartest character in the story. So, the fact that he would be the one to inherit all of these memories is extremely important because I believe he is the one who is going to change things. He's the one who is going to stop history from repeating itself. I mean, the story itself has kind of told us that Armin is more important than it seems like, especially during the whole serum thing. Like Eren, the main character of the story, even said, I'm not important. Armin is the one who did this. Armin is the one who came up with all these ideas. Armin is the one who's going to save humanity. Not me, not Erwin, Armin. And I think that is huge foreshadowing, and I would love for Armin to be related to this Tybur family. I would love to see that happen and see Armin find out that he's related to them and get all of these memories, because I've been theorizing from the beginning that Armin, he's got to gain some memories from somewhere. Like, I thought he was going to get Bertolt's memories, that didn't happen. But now we know that it's not the fact of being a Reiss that allows you to inherit the memories, it's whether you are actually related to somebody as a blood relative or not. So yeah, if Armin turns out to be related to the Tybur family, I'm going to be very, very happy about that. I'm going to be very, very satisfied, because Armin is important. I know Armin is important. I've been saying it from the beginning, and this is going to prove me right. This is going to prove Team Armin right. We always knew Armin was going to be a significant player in this story, and if this turns out to be true, then that's going to prove that we were right. Yes! Go Team Armin! So that's all I can really say about this for now. Because there's so little information, it's hard to say much else about it, but I think that these things from the Reiss theory that we have theorized about before can easily be applied to the theory that Armin could be related to the Tybur family, because it's a different family, but it's basically the same theory. So I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope that this turns out to be true, because I'm very excited about this. Alright guys, now before you leave, I've been talking about doing a Q&A for a while, and since we passed 3,000 subscribers, and since it's been a whole freaking year since I've been doing this on YouTube, I want to finally do that. So, but I don't want it to be all focused on me. I'm gonna have some questions for you guys too. I want us all to get to know each other in this awesome little community, because you guys are awesome. And I want you guys to get to know me, but I want to get to know you guys too. So if you got a question for me, it could be about Attack on Titan, it could be about the channel, it could be about myself, whatever. If you have a question you want to ask, go ahead and leave it in the comments. You can ask whatever question you want, and in the next video, I'm going to pick some of those questions out, and I'm going to answer them, and I'm also going to have some questions for you guys to answer. So if you got a question for me, make sure to leave it in the comments, and next video we'll have a fun little powwow. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for 3,000 subscribers and an amazing first year on YouTube. I hope to be doing this for a long time. You guys have made this experience so awesome and just so much fun, and I'm really excited for the future. I'm really excited for what else is going to come out of this channel. I've got a lot of ideas, not just for stuff about Attack on Titan, but for other things I want to do. Well, don't worry, this channel is going to be 99.9% Attack on Titan for a very long time. At least until the manga finally ends. but I hope you guys will also enjoy some of the other things I've got planned. But anyway, thank you guys so much for your support and for your patience when I go MIA. Again, I'm going to do my best to be as consistent as possible. I want to try to at least get one video out a week. I'm not sure exactly what day that's going to be because it kind of depends on when I can actually get it done. So I'm trying to get things out on the weekend. If not, then they'll be out Monday or Tuesday, somewhere around there. But hopefully, as things continue and as I start upgrading my equipment and getting more organized, then things will be more streamlined and more productive and more efficient. And hopefully one of these days you guys can actually expect a video at a specific day and time. But right now things are a little chaotic, but stick with me guys. Come back and check for my next video next weekend. I'm going to do the Q&A video, but I also want to do another video about the Tybur family. I want to do a video about the Attack Titan, and I want to do a video about a really big theory that I've got brewing about the world of Attack on Titan, where the Titans came from, and the truth about the Eldians and the Marley. That's going to be a long one, but I'm going to try to get all that together so I can share it with you guys and see what you think. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and consider making a monthly pledge on Patreon if you want to help support this channel. Thanks again for everything you guys have done, and I will see you next time. Peace.